Hello, everyone. Yesterday, I shared with you some wisdoms and insights of the infinite way. Today, I'd like to expand on one of those. Goldsmith wrote, "There is no unexpressed consciousness, and even a tiny bit of human consciousness remaining will express itself in terms of human good or bad. That is the law." First off, we must understand that everything represented in the world is a state of consciousness or our underlying belief system. What do we believe about our life? To answer the question, just look around you. What do you see? What do you feel? This represents your state of consciousness. Everything in our world is comprised of energy. Nothing exists that is not of energy. Our consciousness is also energy, always moving out into the world with every thought we think, every breath we breathe, every feeling we have. When we feel sad, we are in a state of consciousness of sadness. When we feel joy, we are in that state of consciousness. When we feel we don't deserve, that's our state of consciousness. Whatever state of consciousness we hold within us, it is what is being projected out to the world. Our life is as simple as that. So let's say that you have been meditating twice a day. You're beginning to feel a sense of joy in your being. You're beginning to notice a movement of energy around you, moving before you, making your life so much easier. And you can tell from that your state of consciousness is moving to that higher state of love, being one with God. You know that you are in the surrendering state when all of a sudden things all around you just go into chaos. What's happening? A state of consciousness is what is happening. As much as you might not want to, be grateful for it. This is showing you underlying beliefs, states of consciousness that are being triggered and are coming up. After all, how many of us have a complete knowingness and acceptance of that all of life is to be harmonious, peaceful, easy, and filled completely with joy, love, laughter, abundance, and so much more? There's not many in the world. Even very rich people might tell you that it is through hard work, staying on guard, having to struggle. That's how they got where they are. And how many of us want to go through that? So, we just think because we don't want to do all that, we have to be in lack. And we settle for being in lack. So our state of consciousness is that of lack. And it's reflected in our personal life. Another one is, no relationship is perfect. There are always struggles. And so we have an imperfect relationship with struggles, state of consciousness. Or you could have a state of consciousness that your relationship is perfect, but there are no struggles. That state of consciousness then sees everything as perfect. Where someone else might see imperfection, you see how perfect it is for you. Wow, I get to learn more patience from this relationship. I have a chance to see beyond the physical to the truth of life. I now have the opportunity to be as God and let that love shine through me to this person. I have the opportunity to learn to compromise instead of just having my own way. And the biggest one, I get to learn that I am not responsible for another person's thoughts and feelings. All of those inner choices come from the much higher state of consciousness of loving and being loved by the one great love, God. Once we move into the higher state of consciousness that we are all one with the one, then those beliefs that we have to struggle and suffer begin to just get washed away. It's not that life may at first or somewhere down the line not get upset. It's that we don't get caught into what's going on. We are in a state of consciousness that is above the energy of what's happening in the world around us. We just allow things to be, and sending the energy of God's love into it, it all balances itself out. And once that happens, that part of us that was still resisting the good in life begins to dissolve. And we open ourselves to even greater good, joy, love, laughter, abundance, and so much more. So be grateful when things come up. They're coming up to be released, not to be caught into. When you do begin to find yourself going back into fear, anxiety, or some other feeling, do as Matt Kahn would say. Just love the part of you that's having the feeling you are having. That's all it is. Once you're just loving the part of you that's having whatever feeling you're having, you are back into a state of consciousness of love. Might be a roundabout way of getting there, but who cares? You're back to loving. The main idea to remember is that it is our state of consciousness reflecting onto the world that each of us is living in. You could look around you and see that you're not living in a situation that you really like. You could look at your finances and see that you don't have the income you really want. You could look at your health and know that you really want greater health in this body. Since all is just a state of consciousness that you are holding within, you could, as Matt Kahn would say, just love the state of consciousness that is creating what you don't want. In other words, just love yourself to the best that you can at any given moment. The other thing to realize is that we keep looking outside of ourselves for changes, for answers. Even though we know that a state of consciousness is an inside job, we still look to the outside for validation. As Goldsmith has stated over and over, we have to let go of all of the outside. It is only a reflection of what is inside. Go to God, go to that energy of love, peace, harmony, and more. Go there. Sit in the silence of that energy, and our work is done for us. In that energy, we don't have to do anything. If the outside world is reflecting what you don't want, go within and sit in the energy of that God space. Just sit there. And as you do, you are allowing source energy to take over your energetic field, and in that, all perfection lies. Allow that energy of perfection to permeate your entire being until everything is brought back into its proper balance and perfection as it was originally meant to be. Joe Dispenza does these wonderful week-long workshops where you spend hours in meditation or connecting with the space around you. And that space is a space of God, of Source. From those many hours spent in that space, people have come out healed of many diseases, bodily malfunctions, financial imbalances, and so much more. Not doing a thing on the outside, but just resting in the energy of Source. So if you have something that's out of balance in your life, I invite you to understand it is only a state of consciousness coming up to be loved away. Just spend more time in the silence of the one source of all. Allow that energy of Source to balance your life back to perfection. So until tomorrow, much love. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Namaste.